Death to China. That's all I gotta say. I think all of what you see before you, everything from fucking COVID to fucking the shit happening in your schools to fucking gender pronoun bullshit, I think it all is the Chinese waging some fucking fifth generation warfare against the United States, and they've been doing it since the 70s. That's what's going on, I think. And I'm getting tired of it. And I just think we're all doomed because we're just going to keep doing this, apparently. Like, maybe things change at the election. How many more elections do we have to have before no one cares about elections anymore? If the Democrats win this time, it's all over. Honestly, if they win this time, I think we have to go to war. It's come to that. And that's not because of their political ideologies. It's because they are literally the tools of the fucking Chinese. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I was just hearing on Glenn Beck, of all places. I like Glenn Beck, but he has his moments where I'm like, ew. Anyway, I was just hearing on Glenn Beck that they're wanting to change up the Texas social studies curriculum, and basically they're taking out everything about America and putting in shit about Chinese dynasties and other like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would American social studies be teaching Chinese dynasties instead of about the Alamo and shit and the history of the United States? Don't get me wrong. I think it's cool to know about Chinese dynasties. If you're going to add that in, bitchin'. But if it sounds to me like you are preparing for us to be a puppet state of China. And I'm betting that's because they've promised all you rich Democrat fucks that you get to run the place. I hope you enjoyed doing it from a fucking grave. That's no shit. None of you are going to live to see that reality. I am reality. And I hope there are others that believe what I believe. It's to the point where literally I don't see a fucking point in voting anymore. I don't see a point in fucking working a job anymore. I don't see a point in making money anymore. I don't see a point in doing jack diddly squat anymore other than fucking shooting Democrats. That's not a threat. That's just like the reality of where this heads. Like, no one wants to talk about the fact that, like, if they keep pushing, if everyone just keeps pushing, and eventually it's going to be them trying to take your food. That's where this heads. We're already walking down that path merrily hand in hand. I know how that ends. You know how that ends. They have no fucking idea. They think the FBI will fucking come get your food. I think that might work for one or two people. It's not going to work for all of Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Missouri and everywhere else that's fucking free. Like, everywhere between the area I just described in Florida pretty much feels the same way. And, like, there are pockets of Democrats and shit, don't get me wrong. Not everyone feels the same way. But half of the damn population is so fucking stupid right now, you can't fucking convince them of the truth. And this is, in essence, why we're headed for a war. And it's going to be a doozy. I predict we're going to be out of World War III. The Taiwanese are going to be fighting over there for their lives. Europe is going to be fighting Russia, and we're going to be fighting ourselves. We're going to be fighting ourselves because China has infiltrated the Democratic Party. I've been saying this for 20 damn years. I remember saying this when I was 12 years old. I'm saying it now at 32 years old. It's fucking still true. The Democrats are in league with the Chinese. The Democrats are in league with our fucking enemies. Why in the fuck aren't they arrested? Joe Biden should be hung for treason and he's president of the United States. Go fucking look at the Hunter Biden laptop shit. Go look at the shit that's like coming out now that the FBI asked Facebook to suppress that shit because it was Russian disinformation. I think they're just throwing the FBI under the bus now. I think the FBI is going down no matter what. Maybe this is part of their whole plan is like, really? None of them like the FBI or the SEC or any of these fucking federal agencies that keep them in check on Wall Street. So why not have an organized fucking takedown of them? This is where we're headed, folks. Desperately quick is no United States government whatsoever, and Google and Facebook and whoever else wants to have a slice of the pie runs the world. Currently, I think Google's more powerful than the American federal government. That's sad, but it's true. We've gone from doing this whole "we are the world" bullshit to fucking drawing knives and guns and backing away from a poker table. And really, I think it's because one of the players at the table is now slumped over dead at the fucking table, and we're still playing cards like nothing happened. And we're the one that's dead. Ha ha. Like, we are going to have internal strife and troubles like you cannot imagine if they continue doing this. If the Democrats are allowed to stay in charge when they are now obviously criminal and are not held to account for their actions, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't just start fucking raiding the highways like Mad Max. And if I think that, imagine how many other people think that. I really don't give a fuck anymore. I think we're all going to die. Like, that's really how I feel. That's, when I started saying to you all that I was transgender and being more myself and taking hormone pills and fucking every guy that fucking moves, that was roughly around the time that I thought we were all doomed, just in case you didn't know that. And now we just keep lingering on. I don't know where this goes, but now I'm just enjoying the show, really. It seems crazy to me that there is no mechanism in place to bring criminals to account when they are in charge of the country. And I know some of you are going, well, that's what they thought about Trump. Yeah, but they were wrong. Like, the thing that I don't fucking understand is, like, the Democrats always accuse us of what they are actually doing. It's one of their tactics. If they accused Trump of it, they're actually doing it. They're in league with Russia, probably. There's a P tape. Whatever they said about Trump is them. That's the way these people work. I can't wait until someone is at the head of this country who knows his full powers as the president and has an axe to grind against these people. I can't fucking wait for that. The thing that pisses me off more than anything is watching The Modern Survivalist. That's the channel name. It was watching him talk about the death of the American Empire, and he's from Spain, and he's from Argentina before that, and Venezuela, I think. And he has a very unique viewpoint, but fuck you, dude. Like, he has this fucking European fucking viewpoint it's sickening. We will come out of this all the better at the end of this with a stronger constitution and a stronger country and our machine gun rights back. There's just going to have to be some fucking bloodshed between now and then, probably. Whether it's the Chinese or internally, we're going to war. I think everyone listening to this should wrap their mind around the fact that we are going to war. It's not a matter of if, it's this train has left the station and it's only a matter of time until something happens. I'm guessing it's going to be someone attacking us. And it's going to give us all the reason we need to go in and fucking level some countries. And the sad part is, our military really is not in the shape for this war at all. I don't know where we've been spending that money for the last fucking billion years. But our military is in pretty desperate shape, to be honest. And it's not like we don't have tech. We have tech, but like our infrastructure that tech hangs on is old now. We need new infrastructure. And this is the thing, like, the rest of the world has more modern infrastructure than the United States right now because we stopped updating. Which means in any war, we're behind the 8 ball. So, with that in mind, I think we're kind of all doomed. Like, not to the extent that Modern Survivalist does. Modern Survivalist, that dude's crazy, to be honest. I'm not saying that kind of shit won't happen here in America. What I'm saying is he thinks that the American government isn't going to survive this shit. Oh, it will. Some version of it will. And he also was like laughing at the fact that Americans compare themselves to Rome. Dude, we are modern Rome. We conquered the whole fucking world. You lazy Spanish ass can't fucking get off the goddamn couch and conquer anything anymore after we whipped your ass back to fucking Spain. Okay? So, like, I really can't stand that fucking shit. Like, this whole international fucking hatred bullshit that there is for the United States, which there really is. In case you've never fucking, like, got a taste of that ever. They hate us. Makes us, perfect, really. Paratroopers always fight surrounded, right? I'd rather the whole fucking world hate us. Come and get us. I doubt they could take us, to be honest. Really, the only problem for us is Russia. And that's just because Russia built enough nuclear bombs to blow up the world 3 times. Because twice wasn't enough. I don't know where the world's headed. Nowhere good. I kind of don't like Spanish twits talking bad about America, though. That's just, in my opinion, what he said was pretty low. And not a fan. I've actually been a fan of this guy for quite a while. I've watched him for years. Like, he makes good points on shit. I didn't quite realize his view of America was such that, like, he is my enemy. If that's your view of America, congratulations, you're my enemy. Maybe I'm just like the last imperialist or something. It's one of the things that always pissed me off talking to fucking E Honda was very clearly he didn't understand the fact that the entire war thing that he hated so much was also providing him the opportunity to live as the ungrateful piece of shit that he is. Like, I don't. I really think that if he went to some of the places that I grew up and some of the places that I've been in my life, where you know you needed a knife, a gun, and a smile to get through the day. That's what happens when you're, outside of the United States jurisdiction and whatever, in this little weird group of fucking psychos that we've made here. Because that's really what this is. We have this like giant group of sheep that all walk around unarmed. Biggest fucking crazy fuck in the whole world, really. Everywhere else in the world, guns are illegal as fuck. People are armed as fuck. They may not have guns, but they have bats and knives and shit for sure. Some of them have guns, whether they're legal or not. And to be honest, that's the way I would be. It's the way I'm preparing to be. I'm preparing to live in the third world. Actually, I'm preparing to live in a nuclear post-apocalyptic wasteland in a third world. And, I think that's what you should do at this point. I took a couple months off of prepping to spend money on pocket knives, and that's maybe not advisable. I'm not done yet. I don't know when I'm gonna be done doing that. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But like, I've decided that basically life's too short to live without good pocket knives. Life's too short to live without kukris. Ordering those next. Like, actually, next is balisongs, then kukris, then probably like a couple of cold steels, and then back to prepping. And the balisongs, I don't know. I go back and forth on what I want. I've decided I'm getting Boker balisongs, but Boker makes two sizes, and one's on sale right now. And the one that's on sale is like $40 for $100 balisong, but it's the one I don't like. It's the small one. And I like a big balisong because, like, I'm used to a bigger balisong, really. It would be cool to have a little lighter weight EDC balisong and to have like 3 of them for the price of one. Because at $40 a pop, I could order 3 of those fuckers instead of, one of the bigger ones and something else. Because, like, I'm going to order something else probably too. I got a little Opinel knife in my cart on Blade HQ. It's like $10. I don't have an Opinel, and I think it's the smallest size they make. I'm going to get one of those just for shits and giggles. There was another Opinel they had that I might go with it instead, I guess, but I think it was stainless, and the little one was carbon. I'd rather have a carbon. Yeah, and it's $20 for the stainless one. So, meh, nah. It's a 1.25-inch blade Opinel for $10. I just need one of those. I don't have a particular use for it, but I like Opinels. I kind of think I'm going to keep that until I buy a bigger one, and then I'm going to give that to my mom. She likes really tiny things, and I think she'd like it. Unless I keep it. I don't know. And like, this is half of my thing, is like, I'm buying multiples of some of the things that I'm buying to give away as gifts, to have as potential trade fodder or whatever else. And the reasoning on that is, like, I found a way to get Leatherman rebars for half price. I'm going to do that. Those $40 balisongs, it's tempting just to order like half a dozen of those as just trade fodder. Okay, and gifts and shit like that. Like, that's a cool thing for half price. Kind of the same thing as the rebar. If it's a really high end, like $100 thing that you would like to own a half a dozen of, and it's $40, why not own a half a dozen of them? I know, yeah, you have other money to spend or whatever, I'm trying to get to where I never have to spend money again. Basically. I know that seems kind of weird to somebody, but like, I have a laundry list of stuff that I need. Knives are on that list. Are they the highest pressing concern? Hell no. Neither were spears or a sword and shield. Like, most of that was, I want to spend some money on some fun shit. Most of the rest of that is, I seriously think we could be in a situation where there are no guns here pretty soon, especially in just general civilian self defense. So I have stuff, and I wouldn't, I wouldn't fuck around at my house whether I have guns or not. Especially with those Cold Steel Bushmen, I really want to get a target range set up for those things. I have 2 of them right now on handles. I want to get more. Those knives on eBay are like $15, $16. Not eBay, Amazon. Those are a beautiful knife. I need to get one of those just to keep as a knife. I don't really know why I would want one as just a knife, though. I wish I could get the Opinel I wanted from Blade HQ, but the little tiny itty bitty one is kind of cool. The real one I would want is either a number 10 carbon, just the plain one, or I think a number 12 slim. I like that one too. I like a lot of the slimline ones, especially in olive wood or Bubinga. You can get them in both. If you've never checked out Opinel knives, go check them out. They're really cool. I'm not gonna have a whole bunch of those, but I'm hunting for a bunch of knives that are sub $20 knives to do videos on, because that's kind of like what I would want. That's where I'm going to collect. Basically, is good user knives that are less than $20 and cool. Like, for example, I have a Buck 110 Light. That's really not that cool, but I have a pimped out one that is cool. I keep the unpimped one just so I have a comparison. I have a Victorinox Hiker. That's a $20 knife. These are the things I'm going to eventually start doing knife reviews and videos on kind of what I do for my EDC setup now, because I've put a fair bit of thought into this, and I've now spent several $100s on it, so it better be good. In case you haven't been following along, my idea is basically that I love the Swiss Army knife. The Victorinox Farmer. They made the Farmer X where they added scissors. So when I upgraded that, I was like, this thing is so capable, it might as well be a multi-tool, except it doesn't have pliers. Or a Phillips driver, really. Those are the 2 things I wanted. And when I went looking for something to do that, the Skeletool really called to me. And the idea here is basically, it's kind of lightweight, not very many tools on it, but with a Swiss Army knife, it's everything you need, really. I bought the one with the fully serrated blade with a glass breaker. It's the rescue model. So it gives you a couple extra things in addition to pliers and screwdrivers and a knife blade. But I saw one that had a diamond file on the outside of it. I really wanted that bitch. I wanted it just to be able to add the diamond file onto my tool. Then I could buy the one with the diamond file and put the rescue blade on it and the glass breaker, but then I'd lose my red coloration. I like the red coloration, and I would have to pay $200 for the one with the diamond file, and that's not going to happen. I spent $200 on a Swiss Army knife and a Leatherman, and I don't feel like I really wasted my money because I've got exactly what I wanted. Oh. And then for $45, I bought a Leatherman rebar as a, heavier duty multi-tool. I don't really know where I'm going to go after the next couple of knives because, like, I know I want a couple of cold steel knives. I know I want 100 Pro A-locks. And I know I want kukris. And I know I want balisongs. So that's a lot of steel to take care of. Because, like, just taking care of balisongs is going to be a couple $100 probably. Taking care of kukris is probably going to be a couple $100. Unless I go cheap. If I go cheap, I could probably get away with like $150 on the kukris. I want to at least get one big one and one small one. Oh, I kind of found a modified pocket kukri thing that I like the look of. I'm definitely going to order. I'd like to order 2 of those, but like ordering 2 of shit is where you start running into money. Oh, it's only $50. I'm going to order 6 of them. Yeah. Honestly, if I had an unlimited credit card and could just sit and buy knives wholesale, we could make a lot of fucking money. And my thing is, the way that I would make money off of that is by looking at the knives that they have and judging for myself which ones are going to be worth 4 or 5 times the amount that they're selling for once they go out of production or whatever. Which some things like the Leatherman Wave going out of production is going to be unpredictable. It's been in production for years or whatever. Spydercos and Victorinoxes and shit, they go out of production all the time. And some of those you can make some money on, especially special edition versions. Imagine if you just had the money to be like, yeah, I'll take 100 of every new special edition that comes out. Just put them in a warehouse. That'd be so dope. I want balisongs because I like cold steel knives because they have strong locking mechs. I like balisongs for the same reasons. I'm not really a folding knife person. If you look at my knife collection, it's mostly fixed blades, a couple of cold steels, a few butt knives, and pocket knives, and balisongs. And most of the reason for that is that's what I actually carry and use. I like strong locking mechanisms. Like the buck knives, my grandfather carried one. I've got his, and I've got 2 cheapies. And then I've got a Pakistani hawkbill knife that was $5. That it's got like an old school liner lock on it, and it holds an edge fairly good. It's frost cutlery. For $5, I like it for thrown in a tackle box or something like that. Or as a gardening knife, like really the sort of shit that you're going to use a hawkbill blade for. It's not very nice. Also, I really want to engrave penis chopper in it and mail it to Duke. But I haven't heard from Duke in forever, so it probably wouldn't be welcome. That would be a badass thing to carry into the world. I had my penis chopper meat cleaver idea. Really, I should do it with this thing. It's an evil like meat claw thing. I call it my testicle knife. Imagine the look on fucking people's faces in the end of the world when you start doing that shit. I have a feeling they'll tell me what I want to know. I like this knife. For $5, even made in Pakistan, I think it's fucking cool. I need to go to a gun show with like $300 in my pocket and just look at used knives. Next gun show here, I really want to do that. I'm not gonna have money though, so I won't have money to waste like that on knives at a gun show until I get done wasting money on knives on the internet. And like that's really half of my problem is that like, dude, there's so much cool shit on the internet. Like the Balisongs from Blade HQ. You can just go order 40 of them. That's cool. The fucking Nepalese kukris. I love those knives because really, I think you're getting a fantastic deal. I'm going to eventually do video reviews on the ones that I buy this time, but I bought stuff from the Kukri house before. I'd recommend them. The only thing with that is there's like a billion of those, and you want to make sure you get the real one. And I'm not even exactly sure that the one that I order from is the real one. It's just the one that I've always ordered from. And I like some of the stuff that they do. And I don't know. I like the other kukris and stuff too, but the ones that they make are the more modern Gurkha military issue ones that I personally like better. And I don't mean the ones that are like non-traditional, but I mean like most of the Gurkha knives that I would buy are just that. They're like service number ones or something equivalent to it. I wouldn't buy giant crazy ones. And it seems to me that a lot of the people talking shit about the Curry House ones never fucking held one, probably. I don't know. I'll see how these new ones compare. I'm thinking I'm gonna order 3. I'd really like to get a jungle training Kukri. They make one that is like a modern combat issue, old school one, kind of. It's weird, but it ditches a lot of the stuff that I don't like and makes subtle changes on a lot of stuff that I do like. I'm gonna order that one too, and then I think I'm gonna order the couple of Biltong Kukris, which are like the small 4-inch ones. I'd like to order. I'd like to order 2 different kinds of those and 2 of each of them, but I don't think I'm gonna have the cash for that, so I might just order 1 each. But the standard 4-inch kukri is only like $20, and that one I might order a few of because like that's one that like for gifts and shit would be cool. And I would really like to make videos about these guys and their business and whatever because I've ordered from them in the past and never been disappointed. I don't know when I'm going to do that. That's as soon as I'm done getting Balisongs, probably. That and if I decide to order all of those kukris, it's going to take me a minute to save up that much money. Because, like, although they're cheap, like, They're 65 to 80 bucks a piece for the big ones. The small ones, one of them wants 50 and the other one's 20. I would like to get a big order of those, especially because when you order a big order, sometimes they throw free shit in. And it's one of those things that I'm pretty sure that I could find those homes here. And I would really like to have my choice of several of them. And that's kind of why I'm thinking maybe even like ordering. They make one that's the World War, and then they make the jungle training one that I had before, and then they make this modern one that I want, and they make the small ones. And I was kind of thinking about ordering 2 of each of those. So that'd be like 10 kukris. And then, I'd have my pick of them, and the rest would be for sale. That would be dope. I might do that. The Nepalese kooks, once you get them here in the States and you can get it in hand and inspected in person, you can charge whatever you think that knife is worth. I bought one of those at Wanamaker and paid $100 for it, and back then they were $35. So the ability to inspect it in person at Wanamaker was worth all that extra money to me. And that's what's got me thinking really about ordering a big order from these guys, like resell them kind of thing. Because I could buy these things by the ton or whatever, check them out, sharpen them, whatever, do anything that they would need done to them, send ones back that don't pass muster or whatever, maybe even. I don't know. It would be pretty dope. I really like kukris, and it's one of those things that it's pretty fucking cool that you can get the real deal made in its original home country still at a relatively affordable price, and it's a quality item. It's one of those things that I wish I could pack up a bunch of gear and fucking go help them modernize their fucking shit. I guarantee you that those guys and I would get along quite well the way that they make knives and the way that I make knives. Um, it's one of those things that they aren't interested in the right way to do things. They're interested in ways that work that don't cost a whole lot of money. That's my kind of knife making. And don't get me wrong, I've had tools that cost a whole bunch of money. I sold those just recently because like they were big and I wasn't gonna have any place to keep them. And that makes me kind of sad. Um, I need to find a better way to grind steel that is compact. I'm gonna work on that one. I think really, whenever I rebuild my shop again, I'm gonna do it with stuff from Grizzly mostly, and I'm gonna have a bunch of individual machines that replace one big one. Although, the thing I really need to be able to do is sand a 1 inch fucking wheel on a 2x72 belt grinder. That would that would have made my life so much fucking easier. I shouldn't have sold off some of my old tools. That I was at the point where I was like, hey, I need some money and I'm not gonna be using these for a while. Like I sold my metal cutting bandsaw, which was just a swag porta band table thing, but I miss that thing. And I don't know. I sold it because I wanted to get one that would be. I wanted to get something that would replace that I could power off of a solar system. That thing takes a lot of fucking draw, and I could get a battery powered version of it. Was what I was thinking. Be able to use it whenever, wherever. And, knowing that, I'm kind of okay letting the other one go. I'll figure out something to cut steel with in the meantime if I need to, but honestly, for a lot of the stuff that I'm going to work on, that thing wouldn't cut it anyway. I like me using files and shit. And, yeah, I wouldn't cut that. Well, we ran out of stuff to talk about quite a while ago. I like to talk about knives at the end because, like, all the politics bullshit kind of makes me angry. And, like, this is in essence why I've decided we're going to do videos on knives and we're going to buy knives because, like, it makes me happy. And, not much else does anymore. And the thing that really gets me about knives is it makes me happy and it's a cheap thing. At least it can be. I have knives here in front of me that cost $5 that made me happy as fuck when I bought them. That's the kind of, you know, stuff that I'm going to try to encourage, I think, on this channel. Is like, maybe not always buy the shittiest thing you can buy, but learn to separate good from bad and trash from treasure and that kind of shit. And, like, of all of those $5 knives in that box, most of them aren't worth a damn. I picked the one that, in reality, I liked because of the model of knife it was, as a locking blade. And it is a type of knife that really, it's the kind of knife you scrub like shit off of shoes with and shit. You dig in the dirt with it. Like, looks good for $5. You need to appreciate everything for what it is. Not everything is going to be a Spyderco or whatever. And in reality, I don't even like Spydercos or Benchmades anymore. I'm quite taken with the looks of this Boker Balisong. I'm hoping that can just be the one. Because it's cheap enough that if it is the one, I can just buy a half a dozen of those. Especially if I get the little $40 ones. That's what really makes that one tempting. Is at $40, 5 of those is only $200. That's dope. And especially to get a D2 EDC knife with a Balisong locking mechanism for $40 a piece. It's one of those, God, why aren't the 4-inch ones on sale? And it's because the 3-inch ones don't sell and the 4-inch ones do. Like, there's basically almost nobody buying Balisongs is going to buy the small ones. There are people that are into them, but they're few and far between. Oh, Benchmade found this out years ago. They used to make a smaller version of the Benchmade 51. I forget what they called it. But it's like the Benchmade 32 Morpho or something like that. They don't make it anymore. I wonder why. My guess would be that it's the same reason that these are cheap. Nobody wants them. And maybe that's why I should get it, is because, like, my whole thing lately has kind of been the island of misfit toys in a way. I like taking up some of the shit that people just don't fucking like. Some of it's worth having. I don't know. I can't really think of a specific example of that, but, like, I've bought stuff in my life where it was like a beater throwaway gun from 100 years ago that nobody wanted and was $75, and I made it my EDC pistol. I think that shit is cool. It's cool to give something a new breath of life or whatever. And this is where really going to a gun show and buying some used knives really appeals to me. I need to do that soon. Go buy some used knives. It's, the message of this, I guess. We're not doomed. Although, to be honest, it certainly seems like there are people that want us to. On that note, I'm going to end this. I'll see you guys later.